You have so much support. And I wanted to share with you, this is from Jack Kornfield, who's always so inspiring and so timely. And he's talking about being a warrior of the spirit. He says, warriors of the spirit are the ones who carry the spirit in difficult times. Warriors of the human spirit are awake human beings who've chosen not to flee, they abide. They serve as beacons of an ancient story that tells of goodness and generosity and the creativity of humanity. I love this. He says, you can identify them by their cheerfulness. You will know them by their compassion. And when asked how they do it, they will tell you about discipline, dedication, and the necessity of community. Discipline, dedication, and the necessity of community. And then he says, suffering is not the end of the story, but human magnificence is. And your ancestors are cheering for you, saying, go, baby, you know how to do this. We did it before, and now it's your time. So go, baby. Take a few deep breaths, clearing the land of your body, clearing the dust from the bones, and welcoming whatever wants to be felt, welcoming whatever needs to be heard, to be felt, to be given space, to be acknowledged. Making yourself wide like the ocean, that you've got room for it all. There's no need to push anything away right now. We can work with it. You want to join me with Om? Take a big breath in. You want to hit play on your playlist, go for it. And we're going to start, some of you heard yesterday, same way, but then it's all different after that. But starting kind of slow with a block if you got one. And if not, don't worry, we can make everything work without a block. That's fine. But if you have a block or a pillow or a towel or something, you could put it on its medium side and it'll be for your head. I'll show you without a block first, actually. Without a block, you can either have your forearms stacked and your head on your arms, or you can have your left arm in front and move your arms apart and just let your head hang. It kind of like comes to your arm. But if you have a block, it could be really nice to bring your head to a block, and then you've got some more room. Okay, so you make it fit you, and you can spend a little time kind of snuggling in and just seeing where you're at today. You know, how we sleep is so interesting, you know, the way it affects our body the next day. So you notice where the little sticky spots, or where do you feel really soft and free and open. And always, you know, we've been talking about this a lot, is to notice where you're defending and to be really sweet with yourself about that. Like, you know, it served you. Is it serving you in this moment? And then we have the right arm in front, no, left arm in front, right? Left arm is in front. So slide your left knee up towards the side of your body. Just slide it up almost like a half frog. And then we're just going to pull that left arm out and roll onto the back of the heart for a twist. It doesn't happen exactly like that. That's totally fine. You can wobble around a little. Let your head do a little bit of rocking so you feel a little bit of pressure on the back of your skull. And that could also be a reminder to let your jaw be softer, your teeth be a little more easy, free, cheeks easy. And we talked a week ago, I think, about the connection between the jaw and the pelvis. And so maybe as you loosen your jaw a little bit and the muscles around your face, you could also feel your pelvis loosen a little bit. And any defensiveness there might just ease up a little bit. It doesn't have to be all the way. And then go ahead and just roll it back onto your belly. You're going to come into a Sphinx. So you can keep your block there. It doesn't matter. Actually, if you have a block, it's kind of nice. You could turn it on its high side. And you could put your forehead on the block on its high side. And come to your Sphinx with your elbows down. And I find this is always a really good position to check in with that balance between effort and ease, and just to notice the habitual places, right? And Sphinx, we can usually tell those habitual places where we're sort of like living like a fist. And so if there's anywhere that you could go from closed fist to generous open palm, be it inside, outside the body, give it a shot. Feel your ancestors supporting you. And then you could flip it, that block again, down to its medium side, and we'll put the right arm in front this time. And again, if you don't have a block, you do it some other way, it all works. And just coming to that crossed arms position where the back of the heart spreads out. And you're doing maybe a body scan, top to bottom and inside out, and just trying to find the walls you've built, places that are rigid, places that feel dry, like a parched field you could send your watery breath to. And this time it'll be the right knee that slides up to the outside of you, over like a frog sort of, and then you just sort of pull the right arm out, spill onto your left shoulder, onto the back of your heart. Open the arms to where they feel right, and let your head move around a little bit. And you could use your eyes looking around the room, like really wide eyes. You're trying to see not just in front of you, but to the sides, periphery, and even behind you a little bit. So good for your nervous system to get really well oriented in your space as you do a movement practice. And then go ahead and come back onto your belly. No block this time, so just put it off. We're done with it for the whole morning, I think. Come back to Sphinx pose on your belly. Take a couple cat-cows in your Sphinx. And then from there, we're going to take it back into a puppy pose. So take your hands, slide them back, come up onto all fours. And puppies where your butt sticks up in the air, yeah, and your arms stretch way out. We're gonna go, actually, let me show you, hold on a second. I wanna show you, because we're gonna do this a few times and just sort of get it rolling now. And we're gonna go from a puppy, and I know it's early, right? It's like 8:30 Saturday morning, so it doesn't have to be major puppy. Gentle puppy, round, can you see me? Rounding, pulling back, rounding to kneel. And then we'll start with the right arm. It's going to go right arm to the side, side bend, circle down like you're melting all the way over. Arms go with you to the other side and up. And we'll do that a few times, okay? So starting on hands and knees. And you can start with your version of a puppy. Maybe it's a little baby puppy. Maybe it's a little more grown up, but any amount. And the idea really is to just feel like it's a yawn through your joints. Let your shoulder joints yawn. Let the front of your spine yawn. And then start to drag. It really comes from deep within your center as you start to drag the hands back and round. Try to get super round on your way back to sit on your heels. And as you roll up, drop the right hand off to the side. Take the left arm up and over. Side bend that just sort of melts. It's just like feathers down. And you trace your feather fingers in a semicircle around yourself. And then open in a side bend to the other side, the right arm coming up over your head. And let that bring you all the way back up to sit on the heels and walk your hands out, puppy. Let your bones settle. Breathe right into your bone marrow. And then super round, find that center support as you round your way back. Starting with the left hand down this time. So left hand crossed to the side, right arm up and over the ear. The side bend that melts like water towards a forward bend all the way around. Feather fingers trace the ground, and then you side bend the other way. Peel the left arm up. Soft, easy joints here, and then all the way up to sit on the heels. One more each side, so starts with puppy. And then like a fisher person reeling it in, right? You gotta reel yourself back in, rounding, rounding, drawing, reconnecting. Right hand to the side, left arm up and over. Super melty, drippy down and sweep it across to the other side. Reach the right arm up and over your head. Pick yourself all the way up and go right back into your puppy for the last time here. Draw it back in, reel yourself in, rounding the spine, and then left hand over to the side, right arm over the ear, spill it sideways, and then start to spill it out front ways and all the way across to the other side. Left arm overhead, and all the way up you come, downward facing dog. Go ahead and walk your hands out, curl your toes under, and we're gonna kind of mimic that, recreate that, only this time starting from downward facing dog. But give yourself a moment there, just sort of snuggle in and feel those 14 generations. How far back can you remember? Have you met your great grandparents? Yeah, oh, that's so cool. I never did. But my son has great grandparents. That's cool. Well, one. So we're going to take this, and you're going to just take this downward dog, so our puppy grew up, and walk your hands back to your feet. So you're in a soft forward fold. You can let your joints be nice and soft here. Roll it all the way up. And as you roll up, your right arm will just stay down by your side. Left arm will come up and over your ear, and you can take a side bend here, just like we did, but standing now. And let that side bend start to melt down. Same thing like we did. We're going to take it across the front, all the way over to the other side, and then start to lift the right arm up and pick yourself all the way back up. As you come back up, walk your hands down to the floor, downward facing dog. So just like that, we'll do that just a couple more times. So downward facing dog, walk your hands back to your feet. Really, really round as you uncoil your way upward. And this time, the left arm down by your side, right arm up and over, side bending, and then soft joints melting, turning the nose down, spilling it around to the front, and then just taking it over to the other side, letting that left arm start to pick you all the way up. Arms down, walk your hands out, downward facing dog. Do that one more time each side. So walking the hands back and you roll yourself all the way up. Left arm up and over the head, bending knees, soft wrists and fingers as you melt your way down, across through the center, over to the other side. And the right arm starts to pick you up at the elbow, like someone's got a string on your elbow and they're pulling you up, both arms down. Fold forward, walk your hands out, downward facing dog. And the last time, walk your hands back, folding forward, bendy joints, soft and open, roll your way up. Left arm by your side, right arm up and over. Bending and melting, melting, turning the nose down, the head follows, the arm follows. You sweep your feather arms across the front. And then let that left elbow start to invite you up, stacking your bones, coming alive again, all the way up. Magnificent. Arms by your side. Downward facing dog. Bend at the hips. Walk your hands forward. So from downward facing dog, you know what, actually come to your knees. Maybe I'll show you this, as usual, it's going to be sort of non-linear and kind of strange today. So let me just show you one more thing. So we're going to start, we're going to repeat this a bunch of times, but from downward dog, we're going to cross right foot over to the left foot over to the right foot over to the left, and left foot over to the right, and then just, however it looks for you. It won't look like mine, it'll look like yours. So I have left foot in front, and then I'm gonna walk the arms over on the left diagonal away from that front foot, any amount that I can, and then we're gonna come back and just turn to face the other side of the mat to a squat, and then we're gonna build on that today. And so let's start there. So start in downward dog. Settle into your bones again. And let's take right foot in front of left and over towards the left side of the mat. Like you're braiding your legs. Back leg comes out, crosses in front, over to the right side. And then one more time each side. Right leg crosses. And then left leg crosses. So left leg is in front. And then you're going to walk your arms over towards the left. May not be a lot. It's kind of an awkward position, but it's also not meant to be a very like static, robotic kind of a thing. You could bend your knees. You could look all different directions with your head. Your arms could decide, do I want to be way out? Do I want to be closer? Are you on the sole of your foot? If you're not, that's fine. Just be curious about it. And then we're going to start to walk the hands back around to the right and just keep going in that direction until you unroll and turn all the way around to face the back of your space. Squat pose. Turn the toes out as much as you need to get nice and low. And then snuggle around here a little bit. Be like a forest creature here. Feel your paws. Feel the soil underneath you. Listening to Jane Goodall yesterday, and she was talking about chimpanzees and how something outrageous like 97.6% of our DNA is the same as theirs. Can you believe that? It's so wild. Go ahead and walk your way back out, downward dog, but you're facing the other way this time. So you're facing the back of the mat, but you don't need me. You're good, you got this. It's just exactly the same, but on the other side. So we start with the left foot, it crosses in front of the right, over to the right side. And then the right leg comes out, crosses in front and over. And one more time with each foot. So left foot and right foot. You got right foot in front, cross leg, forward fold. Walk your hands over on the right diagonal or something like that. And then play a little bit, be curious. Inhabit it. Can you really inhabit your body so fully in this moment? And then walk your hands around to the left and keep turning until you're facing the front of your space again. And then go ahead, walk it out, downward facing dog. Oh wait, squat, I forgot squat, come back. Walk it back to squat. Now downward facing dog, walk it out. So we're gonna add on that just a couple times today. That'll be our little dance that we make together. So home in your bones, descend again, come back down to live in your bones. Feel the earth beneath you, the support around you, all your ancestors, past and future, cheering you on. You go, you got this. Right foot crosses over to the left. Left foot comes out, crosses to the right, or a little dance. One more time, each foot, right foot. And left foot, walk your arms over to the left. Maybe do something just a little differently. What if your hands were staggered, one forward, one back? What about the other one forward, one back? What if the arms were crossed too? Make it up as you go along. Play it where it lands. And then walk it around to the right and keep going until you spiral to face the back of your space. Squatting, come down low. So if you're feeling like you need rooting, that's great. You can stay right here and squat. If you want to go shooting up into the sky, put your hands down and any amount. You could hop your feet up. You could try it 1, 2, 3, 5 times. It might turn into a handstand. It doesn't have to. And if you're in a space that feels a little scary to do that, you could just even just go up like an inch. And then from there, we're going to plop it down onto the butt. So perhaps, you might use your hands behind you and give yourself some support. Otherwise, you can kind of counterbalance with them and see if you can just drop your butt down, stretch your legs out, reach your arms up, and fold your way forward. Come on up, cross your legs. Doesn't matter which one's in front, but notice which one is, which shin is in front of the other. Roll over your knees, downward facing dog. Just like that other side. So start with the left foot, cross it over to the right, and then right foot, and then left foot, and then right foot, and walk your hands over to the right. Make something up here with this shape. Even I was playing with taking that inside arm into a side bend here. And then walk it all the way over to the left, unravel your legs, turn back to face the front of your space, squatting down, and choosing the right medicine for you, be it a squat, nice and low. You could even take a crow pose, or I'm gonna scare the cat now, here we go, hopping, yep, scared, up and down a few times. And then as you feel ready, you can take yourself butt to the floor. Hands if you need them, down if you don't. Stretch your legs out, lift your arms up, empty your body out. Just lay it out without trying to struggle against it. Can it just really organically land where it lands? And as you come up, you're noticing which leg is in front. Do it the opposite last time. So put the other ankle in front. I don't know, for me, it always feels so weird to roll over the knees that way. I don't know, see if it does for you or not. And then we're back in downward facing dog. And we're gonna add on to that a little bit more. So right leg crosses, left leg crosses, right leg crosses, left leg is in front. You know, I think we might have done this last week, the crisscross crow. So just an option for those who want a little extra adventure this morning. You got your left leg in front. You could plant your palms, widen the knees, but your ankles stay crossed. And there might be a way you could come and float here on your hands. But please, no worries or any kind of pressure. If that just seems outlandish, you could keep going and walk your arms over to the left like we've been doing. And then walk it over to the right, spin around to the right until you're in squat facing the back of your space. And you could keep it low and squat, or you could do some more hops. And then down to the butt, legs straight, arms up, huge inhalation, and then you fall. So here's where we're gonna change it up. As you come up here, take your hands and you're gonna bring them right about like thigh, knee level or so, not right at your hips and not way out in front, somewhere in the middle. And we're gonna try to push forward with the knees, and they come as close to the floor as they'll come. That's about as far as I get. And now as you pull back, try not to let your butt touch the floor. Push with your heels, try to straighten your legs, and so you come into almost like a pike. And do that again, pull your butt through. Try to reach your knees as far in front. I come to the fingertips sometimes here too, so you also get a fun stretch of the fingers and the hands. And then pull back, try to keep your butt really high. One more time, pull it through. Knees reaching, and pull it back. And this time we're gonna pull it through and keep going, walk your hands with it until you end up on your knees with your toes curled under. And then a little bit of a baby dancing camel here. So you've got the toes curled, you're sitting on your heels. Grab one heel with your hand, anyone. Sweep the other arm up and lift your pelvis off your feet. A little back bend, little side bend, and then come down and change. Little back bend, little side bend, hips up. Do one more each side, okay? Do it with your breath, your pace. Feel your feather fingers stroke the air. And come on down. Uncurl your toes, sit back on your feet, walk your hands behind you. If that's enough and you feel a lot of sensation, stay. Otherwise, you can lift your knees up a little bit. And then put them down and walk it back out. Downward facing dog. So you're probably still facing the back of your mat, but whatever, it doesn't matter which way you're facing. You all know that by now. Downward dog. Then you're going to start with the left foot. Bring it over in front of the right to the right side of the mat. And then the right foot comes out and crosses. And the left foot comes out and crosses. And the right foot comes out and crosses. And your right leg in front, fold forward. If you wanted to, you could try that crisscross crow with the ankles still hooked, or you just keep it simple, or you keep it moving and fun and playful. And then walk it over to the left and keep twirling until you're in squat, facing back to the front of the mat probably, but if you're facing somewhere else, it's all good. Stay low or jump up. And then take it down to your seat. Any way you get there, legs straight, arms up, breathe in, and then fold. And as you come up, you find a place for your hands that's somewhere in the middle of your legs. And then trying to get over those feet to bring the knees as far forward as they'll go. Woo, it's more really. Where do you feel it actually? For me, it's very much the arms and some toes. And then back you go. Push with the heels. Try to keep your butt high. One more time. And back. And this time, let's go with it. So as you start to push the knees forward, you can also take your hands with you until you're on your knees, dancing camel. Grab one heel and away we go. You all take Sandra's class. I know a lot of you, she told me the other day about a bird that sleeps while it flies. Did she tell you about that? You can come on down. As you come on down, uncurl your toes, sit back on your feet. I forget what bird she said it was, but it goes out and like catches a current basically, and it's up there flying, but it's also totally asleep. Isn't that amazing? Walk your hands back, lift your knees up. Let's try to do that. Maybe we can be like 20% maybe in Shavasana while we go through the next sequence. Come on down. Walk yourself back, downward facing dog. Do it all. One final time through these shapes. And it's so nice when you start to kind of get to know it and you can feel more secure and you can feel like you don't have to listen to me as much and you can really turn the body on and let it be your guide. So right leg crosses, left leg crosses. One more time, each way. And you choose, do you want to stay? Do you want to walk the arms to the right? Do you want to make up some new thing? It's kind of fun too, as playing with staying crossed in the legs and interlacing the hands behind the back to take this interlaced fold forward. You could take the crisscross crow. And then wherever you're at, let's bring the hands down, feet down, walk it around to the right and unwind into a squat. Maybe this time, if you're a headstand person, you might take your hands and interlace them and bring your forearms down and your head down. Or maybe you just think about it. You could go into a headstand or not. You could super happily stay and just be a little wild animal on the forest floor in your squat pose. And none of it lasts forever. Eventually you're going to come down, put yourself on the ground, stretch your legs out, reach your arms up, and take it for a fold forward here. Come on up. So hands are going to come, maybe, you know, if they were a little towards the thighs, you bring them further towards the knees or vice versa, just to try it a little bit differently this time. And then here we go. Gonna push forward with the knees as far as they'll go. Oh, and then back. And you're hovering and you're piking. And one more time, push. Easier this time. And back. And last time we're gonna go with it all the way. So start to walk the hands with you. And you can come right up to kneeling with your toes curled under. So lift your butt up off your heels. And we'll take a camel, and it could be as gentle as it needs to be, or it could be as big as you want it to be. You could keep your hands on your hips, or you could put them on your heels. Anything goes. Keep your breathing really panoramic and wide. Same thing with your vision, really panoramic and wide if your eyes are open or if they're closed. One more breath if you can stay. Get wide, get soft at the edges, and then come on back. As you come back, you can sit down, uncurl your toes. Just pause to feel the after pose. The resonance of camel pose still in your body. Walk your hands back a little bit. Knees can lift if they do. If not, just stretch through the front of the feet by sitting on them. And then we're going to walk it out onto the elbows and come to a forearm plank here. Are we still facing the back of the mat? Don't worry about it. Forearm plank, and while you're here, you're just going to let your hips swivel. So a little dip to one side, and then a little swivel dip to the other side. Just keep going like that. Let's do it maybe a total of 10 times. That's 4, 6, 8, 2 more, 9, 10. Back to center and lower all the way to your belly. Woo! Push back to child's pose. And stay a bit. Let yourself soften. Let yourself really settle and spread out on the ground. Okay, all fours, downward dog. So you're facing the back of the mat, but we are going to turn around in a moment. So left foot in front, crossing right foot in. Left foot in front, right foot in front. Choose your own adventure moment. Stay, move any part, any direction. Balance on your hands or clasp your hands behind you and fold. As you come back to earth, you're going to walk it around to the left until your legs untwist. Then you drop yourself low into your squat. You choose your adventure here. You stay in squat, or maybe you take a headstand. You could take a twist on each side. It's really just endless the ways you could imagine to move this body you've got. We'll meet seated, no rush, but when you get there, legs long, Paschimottanasana. Coming up, hands somewhere between the hips and the feet. The further forward you get them, the easier it is to get the knees out, but then the harder it is to get the hips back. So it's like 2 in 1, you know. What's the dozen in one? I don't know the saying, whatever that saying is. Go ahead and push your knees forward. See where they go. Oh, and then pull them back and hover and pike and lift your butt up. And twice. And back. And last time, we're going to go with it. Walk it out. And into one final camel here. So you take it where your camel wants to go. If you want to stick with it, that dancing camel, if you prefer that way, do that. When you feel like that's good, sufficient, you can come down to the tops of your feet and sit on your shins and just pause to feel the effect of your practice. I just think it feels like a snow globe that got all shaken up. Stretch across the tops of your feet. Bring the hands back, lift the knees any little bit. Coming back. So you got options here too. There's always lots of options. You could take forearm plank if you are a forearm stand person. If that feels like something fun you might want to try today, go for it. You could put your elbows down. You could lift your butt in the air, walk your feet in. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you just play with one leg going up and you just live in that position for a bit. Maybe you go back and forth across the ball, the foot to the toes, and then switch. Okay, if you feel like you want to hop today, you don't have to hop very far. You could just do a little, whoop. Doesn't have to be a lot. But there's also forearm plank with a very fun hip swivel. So you could do any of those things, or you make up a new thing. We're gonna meet in a child's pose. There's no hurry. When you do get there, when you feel ready to be there, we'll meet in child's pose. And then from your child's pose, come on up. Why not scoot your knees up towards the front of your mat and sit back onto your feet. Bring your hands to your heart. You can put one over the other. You can interlace them. And try just sliding. You can pick up a little bit and slide your hips off to the right side of your feet and sit. And then we're going to go back through the middle and over to the left side and sit. Oh. And then last time, back through the middle, over to the right side and stay. Just take that top knee, your left knee, and just slide it back so your legs are a little staggered. And then you can walk your hands, kind of turn to the left so you're in between your legs, and walk your arms out and take a forward fold of any amount here. Walking the hands back so you have a tall spine. Take that left leg, the one that's in the back, and stretch it out, flex the foot. So now we're ready for Parsva Janu Shirshasana. You can either reach your left hand down towards the foot or the floor. You can put it on your right leg somewhere and take that right arm up and over. Sometimes it's fun to take that bottom arm and kind of crawl it in front of you, and it can help to really steer the chest open and help to make that spiral a little bit deeper of the spine here. And then float your way back up. Tall spine, go slow. So that right leg, now it's externally rotated. We're just going to pick it up. You can even watch for a moment and turn it in. And so you're facing towards the back diagonal now. You have that foot tucked next to you, the top of it on the floor. And then you could walk over your legs here. And I know this one's a little like, so if you need to not go that far or wobble from side to side so you can kind of coax yourself into it, you rock your way in. You can use your hands on the floor to help center the body and your spine over that inner left thigh as you fold. We're going to do all that in reverse. So walk yourself back up. Take that right leg and now it'll open out externally. Let's go through a little, just a moment here in a side Janu Sirsasana. And then as you come up, you're going to take that back leg, the left one, and bend it, fold it in. So you have your two staggered legs, walk out through the middle. As you walk it back in, you can take that back leg, the left one, and just slide it so you're kind of sitting side saddle again. Hands on the heart. Come up to the middle and sit over to the left. And up through the middle and sit over to the right. And last time, up through the middle and sit over to the left. And then just take that right leg, slide it back. Turn a little bit more towards the legs and walk yourself out into a fold forward here. And as you walk yourself back in, you can take that right leg and extend it straight out to the side. And take your Parsha Janu, either the right hand near the foot, or it crawls out in front of you, or it holds the opposite leg. That's it. Come on up. Take that left knee, lift it up, turn it in. So you gotta bring the foot so it points back behind you. Don't worry if you wobble or if you're off center with the pelvis. Let's not get too nitpicky about it today. But just, as long as you're feeling something, you're doing it. Fold over that long right leg, some little bit. Come back up, and everything just goes in reverse. So the left knee opens out this time, and you side bend. And float your way back up. Draw the right knee in, and then go walk it out through the middle. Changing it a little this time as you walk your way back up, you're going to take that right leg, bring it around like Baddha Konasana here. And so whichever way you're facing, again, doesn't matter. So have your legs in Baddha Konasana and see if you can reach your arms forward and try to slowly drip your spine down to the ground. When you arrive, we're going to keep the legs the way they are. Place the palms down on the floor, and using the pinky toe edges of your foot, lift your pelvis up into like a Supta Baddha Konasana bridge. Try to press your feet together and lift your tailbone up between your thighs. And then steer your legs a little bit. So the left knee comes down towards the floor, the pelvis turns a little bit, and you just steer it over to the left, still high through the hips, and then back to center, and steer it over to the right. Still lifting the tailbone up, come back to center, lift up 1 more millimeter, and then put the whole thing down. Pause for a moment. Your hands might rest somewhere on your body, and just let yourself anchor down again, descend into your bones. Big exhale. And now close your knees. Knees and feet together, inside edges of the feet touching this time, soles of the feet down, zip your thighs up, press your palms down by your side. Little teensy narrow bridge, press into your feet, lift your hips up. Lift them up as far as they'll go, and then keeping your feet rooted, just let your knees open wide.
Lift your tailbone up another inch, and then can you squeeze your knees and thighs back together? And then let your knees open, lift your tailbone another millimeter maybe. Try to keep it really high as you squeeze your knees and thighs back together. And do that one more time. Open, lift a little bit more, squeeze everything together, and then slowly come on down. And bring your knees into your chest, rock around a little bit. Take a twist, sort of like we did in the beginning, but this time if you wanted to wrap your right leg around the left one, you could. Any variation of the supine twist, let your knees drop over towards the left side. And you can open the arms. You can make up a different version of this if you like. Give yourself time here. Really let things settle, spread out. Feel the weight of your body on the earth. Go ahead and start to unwrap it and bring it back around to center. You could hug your knees in again for a moment and give yourself a little rock, a little snuggle and rock from side to side. And then take your twist going the other direction. You could wrap the legs or not. Carrying the spirit in difficult times. With discipline, dedication, community. Feel the support all around you, behind you, beneath you, in front of you. And let your edges soften and your body just be non-resistant to gravity. That's it. And then you could, little by little, start to make your way back, and no rush, and just check in with your bones and your tissues and your heart. Is there anything else that you need here? How would you like to rest today? Seated or lying down, or any other way you could imagine. We do Shavasana to teach us how to rest, but we also do it physically to build resilience, to become anti-fragile. So every tissue that you've stressed in your body here, everything that you've compressed and pulled and twisted, it's now being completely healed. And not just coming back, springing back to how it was, but springing back so much stronger, so much more hydrated and nourished, feeling into your own inner world. Can you imagine that? Sense it. Your body being rejuvenated.
Begin to breathe really deeply. Your grandmother and your grandfather's DNA in your body, and your great grandmother and your great grandfather and your great greats and great great greats, and all that they went through so that you could be here, so that you could carry the torch of compassion and community and generosity and cheerfulness. Start to wiggle and stretch it out. Take your time coming back. If you want to stay, please do. Otherwise, start to come on back. We can om together. You can lie there. You can just listen. Om.